Well, good morning everybody and welcome to another Sunday morning show in association with Golfing Days. If you haven't checked out Golfing Days, please go and check Mark and Ollie out. They are a fantastic one-stop shop for your golfing holidays, golf tournaments, pro-ams. Go and check them out. I'll pop a little link in the description of this video as I do for all my Sunday morning show videos because they are the main sponsor of the Sunday morning show. Now, for a lot of golfers, certainly in the UK, and I don't know this about around the rest of the world, but getting your name on a board at your golf club is huge because it will be there forever. Well, for me, that came in 1992 when I won the Frank Carson Trophy. Yes, this is the comedian, the TV guy, Frank Carson. I think I met him once when he was at Churston. I don't know the actual history behind exactly why we had a Frank Carson Trophy, but I do remember seeing him around the club. So maybe there was a connection between maybe him and Ray Reardon, maybe, that brought it up here, and then obviously he presented a trophy in, what, 1974? But then, the Captain's Junior Cup in 1998. Look, Paul won it there in 97, and I managed to win it in 98. I think I took Leicester out in the, semi-finals to go on to the finals of that one. But the main one that you always wanted to get your name on the board for, the gold medal. And I was lucky enough to get my name on the gold medal 3 times. This was the big one. 2000, 2002, and then 2005. You can see Paul got his name on there in 1997. I think he only actually won it once, interestingly. I remember him winning in 97, that was in the old clubhouse. Leicester has got his name on here in 2010. He was obviously a bit of a late developer because he didn't get it on there early enough. But yeah, 2000 to 2005, I turned pro I think in 2006. I couldn't obviously win it any other time other than that. But the problem you had with this event was it always clashed with a county match, generally. So in a couple of those years in between, we didn't actually get a chance to play in it, but that was the main one. That's the gold medal. That is the 36 holes in one day championship, off scratch. That was the one to win. Well, some of you may know, and I may have said this before on previous videos, but unfortunately we lost my dad back in 2006, and we wanted to do something for him here at the golf club because, you know, it was a big part of his life. He was on the committee here. We grew up here and helped us develop as golfers, and he was massively a part of that. Well, we had the 36-hole championship here at Churston. It was an open event. It was a Devon County Order of Merit event, and it was something that myself and my brother Paul had won on a number of times, but there was no trophy for it. So we created one. We made the Chris Hendriksen trophy, and when I look at this trophy, there's some fantastic names on here that have won it since 2008, which is when we first put it out there. Tom Woodhouse, very close friend of mine, county captain at the moment, he actually won it, first one out the blocks. Leicester's on there, which is great, and even Scotty Pym won it in 2021. So there's some great names on here. And we're really proud of the fact that we've got this trophy. And today they're playing for it once again, 2023. Now, as you know, if you've watched this channel, you will have seen in the past that I'm a big fan of greenkeeping, getting out onto the golf course design, stuff like that. I love being a part of it. I did a lot of it in my training here at Churston when I was right at the beginning. When I first turned pro, I wanted to move back from Saunton. I started at Saunton as a trainee under Albert Mackenzie up there, and I wanted to come home. Just lost my dad, so I wanted to get home and spend some more time with my family. So Rob Butterworth, the head pro here at the golf club, he offered me a job at the shop, but because there was a few of us in the shop at the time, Sam Stevens, who's been on the channel, Dan Lyons, who's been on the channel, Dan works up at Cayman, just around the corner. There weren't enough hours for me in the shop, and certainly from a coaching point of view, I was brand new to it, therefore I wasn't going to be coaching a great deal. So Kelvin Miller, who's the head greenkeeper here at the golf club, he said come out and do some raking of bunkers for me during the summer, just to earn a few extra pounds, you know. So that's what I did. Came out here and learned the trade. I really did learn the trade. I loved it. I absolutely fell in love with greenkeeping and learning how to cut the greens, hand cut the greens, learning how to maintain a golf course. Never knew much about it, but went from Jake the rake to actually cutting fairways, cutting greens and cutting the rough. So yeah, I don't think they let me cut the holes actually, but certainly did everything else. But I thought today we'd go and catch up with Ashley Miller, Kelvin's son, who is the deputy to Kelvin now, and thought we'd catch up with him to see what it takes to get a golf course ready for a big tournament like Dad's tournament. Let's go meet up with Ash.
So the first thing you look for is a pin position, and when the greens are going to be a bit quicker, so we tend to not put them on slopes and then they're playing 36 holes, so they want to enjoy it, don't they? So try and get the middles of the greens if possible, and then you look for a nice spot.
So first question that I've got is talking about finding positions, pin positions.
Yeah.
Do you map out like before? Do you know like you want X amount at the front, X amount in the middle, X amount at the back? Is that how you do it?
Tournaments, we normally do 6 front, 6 back and 6 middle.
Okay, so this one being more middle-ish.
In the middle, yeah. So I tend to do first, second and third, one at the front, one at in the middle and one at the back. Yeah. So you don't get 2 in a row, if you know what I mean.
No. And then as you carry on from there, does it make such a difference then, or you just let it blend in?
Just do follow that, so 1, 2, 3. We don't do front, middle, back. We do like front, middle, back, and then back, front, middle. So you're not always got 2 in the same position.
No, absolutely right.
So this hole changer is set up at 7 inches.
7 inches?
7 inches.
Okay.
The minimum you're allowed is 4 inches. But
what does that actually mean? 7 inches all the way down?
Yeah,
and then how much does that leave kind of on the top?
We probably do 2 inches, but the minimum you're allowed is 1 inch.
Okay.
But we do 2 just for an extra bit of...
And does it actually make that much of a difference when the ball obviously goes into the hole? Have you ever seen it where the ball hits
too low,
it and it pops it, maybe pops it back out?
Got at least an inch, I think, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything higher than that, the ball could hit it and then maybe pop out of it. Yeah.
We don't paint the hole because it gets too worn out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look very good after.
No, it's good for 1 round and that's about it.
Just for 1 round, yeah.
But you know why they paint them, don't you?
No. Camera.
Camera, the TV, yeah. It picks it out, yeah.
And that should be flush.
My old man made his way onto the committee, the board.
He did.
And he got himself as chairman of greens. You obviously had to work with him.
I did, yeah. That was a few years ago.
How was he?
He was excellent. Very good.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was very supportive of us staff. Didn't get too involved, and no, he was very good. He actually, something I still do to this day. He taught me once, fishing thing probably. We were tying up the new trees. Actually, yeah, he was greens chairman when we had the tree spade in. And we moved all the trees, and we were roping them up. And he said, put your rope in the bucket, but they'll never get a tangle then. So yeah, still do that to this day. So he was all right, Chris.
It must be quite hard though when you're like, because I've seen it, being the secretary of the golf club, where you get people come in onto the board, and ultimately, you know your job. I would know my job, let's say from a pro's point of view, but then you get general public members of the golf club that come in and sort of become chairman of greens because they've been voted into that position. They don't really know what's going on half the time. That must be hard. Over the years it must have been hard.
Yeah,
I don't want to put you on the spot with the
tricky,
camera,
yeah,
but
I've got to be a bit careful.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah, but it can be very difficult having to then train them.
Somebody to do it for a while, not like every 2 years. You need somebody who's going to do it for 5, 6 years.
Yeah.
And you need the board to back that. I know they've got to come off the board after 3 years, but the one I've got now, Sheila, she's excellent.
Yeah.
She's come off the board, but she's been co-opted back on to be the Greens chairman or chair lady, whatever you call it. But she is a bridge between the members and us, really, and the manager. So if there's a problem, she comes to see me. We have meetings by a couple of times, 3 times a year, and it does work well. And it's not an easy job for a member, because they come up to play golf and somebody's moaning and groaning at them. So yeah, it's
a challenge.
Tricky.
It is a challenge.
In my 27 years here, gosh, I wouldn't like to say how many I've had Greens chairmans, but they've all been all right.
Yeah. So always going to get some good ones, always going to get some ones that you've got to train up just that little bit more.
You have to manage them downhill.
Absolutely right.
So now I'm going to iron the green.
Okay.
Afterwards, so this.
So you've got that cup in, and you've got it slightly
flat.
Yeah.
So when you go over the hole, the idea is not to shrink the hole, because when you roll over it could shrink the hole if it's not completely flat. So if you look, it's completely flat to the surface.
Yeah.
And ironing will just smooth out any imperfections. It'll obviously speed up the greens. Probably add about a foot to the stimp meter, to the stimp reading.
Yeah.
So we'll probably get the greens for about 10 on the stimp meter for this competition. You don't want any quicker around here because of the slopes on the greens. It's just sometimes it's impossible if you get the greens too quick. And with the easterly winds, it's got really dry at the moment.
Because this golf course isn't the longest golf course in the world, but the saving grace for this golf course is the greens, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you get these pins in some tricky spots.
This green's one of the flatter greens.
Yeah.
That you see all along here, it's massive slope left to right from the front to the back.
Yeah.
So even in the middle of the green, you've got probably from down there, 1 foot of break, 2 foot of break.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is one of the flatter greens on the course.
Yeah.
So if you get them too quick, it's just impossible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Perfect.
Perfect.
That view just never gets old. I feel like there's a tree that's kind of come down there somewhere, and now you can see all the way through to Broad Sands Beach down there. Absolutely stunning on a, well, sun is going to come out in a minute. I want to ask you about the tees, because especially this one, over the years, this one, as a par 3 tee, it would certainly at the front of the tee during the winter, and obviously we're coming out of the winter now, it would be battered. But this is looking pretty impressive now, coming out of winter time. The mat at the front, is that got anything to do with it?
4 or 5 years ago, we had a plan of putting all Huxley mats in throughout the winter, so on every single tee.
Yeah.
So the last 2 years we've had about 10 or 11 mats, and then for last winter we had all 18 on mats from start of December through to the end of March.
Yeah.
And you can see the wear is just brilliant. This would normally be completely
battered.
See the divots here, it would be completely battered, but because of the mats it's worked perfectly. And we've got a measured winter course as well, so all the mats are all measured, so everyone could put score in, qualifying score in the winter now. Yeah.
When it comes to tee boxes, because obviously there's always that thing about, like, should you replace a divot or not replace a divot on a tee box?
On a tee box, no, because we spend 2 days, 2 mornings a week divoting the tees.
Right, okay.
And it'll grow back quicker with sand and seed rather than dead divots.
Yeah, and that's pretty much that's a normal
rule.
Not
obviously on a fairway, it would be ideal to put sand and seed, but obviously you can't.
You can't do every fairway.
No, not every fairway.
So you get the tees done and just let the fairway. So that's why we get that kind of unwritten rule, should we say, where leave a divot when it comes on a tee. Let the mower chop that up, and but fill your divots in with your divot that you've taken out on the fairway. When it comes to this tee, then obviously preparation for it coming out of winter now into summer. The actual blocks that you're using here, I mean, they look pretty sharp.
Due to the new handicap system, we have to have a measured course for at least 2 sets of tees. Yeah. So we now do the yellow tees. They've got to be measured course all the time.
Okay.
And obviously the blue tees are the back tees, and they have to be like.
Is that why I'm seeing them whites forward of yellows now?
We found out that the whites and the blues, there's no difference on the handicap system.
Okay.
So we decided to put the blues at the back and have a friendly golf tee for people that don't put competitions in. Otherwise, the back of the tees just get ruined.
Okay. So if somebody's coming out to do a card, let's say just for their handicap,
so they have to play off the yellows or the blues.
Oh, they can play off the blues now.
Blues,
it used to be a bit of a rule where you weren't really allowed to go off the blues unless you were.
No, we have to have them measured now, which is a pain, but for handicap systems. So.
Any prep that you've had to do then from a tee position?
So probably 4 weeks ago we put down a slow release fertiliser.
Okay.
And because of the slow start, slow weather, it hasn't really kicked in, but the last week or so we've been a bit warmer, so it's started to kick in. And you can see the Pomerania, most of the tees are Poa and ryegrass.
Okay. What does that mean, Ash?
So the Pomerania is not great grass you want, but it's the most common grass in the UK on clay-based surfaces. Yeah. So if you look closely, you can see these the little white seed heads?
I can, yeah.
That this time of year you get them. That's Pomerania, so you don't mind it on tees because it's quite grows really quick.
Yeah.
But on greens, you don't want it on greens. But every green in the UK has it, really.
Does it?
Yeah, and
Okay.
you can't really get rid of it. But
Well, on that note, then,
We'll
why don't we wander up to a green and have a little look
Yeah,
at
we'll have a little
the
look.
surfaces up there as
Okay.
well. So 17th green, then. I mean, this is one of your better greens.
greens, yeah. So you can see it here, the little white seed heads.
Yeah.
That's a power. Obviously, on greens, it's cut so low that you can barely see it.
Yeah.
And then if you look next to it, oh, this little grass here,
Yeah.
that's called creeping bent grass.
Okay.
So that is the fine grass that you want for clay built up greens. So you have a mixture of creeping bent and Pomerania. So we're probably, on our better greens like this, probably 70-30 creeping bent to Poa.
Yeah.
But then on the wetter greens, Poa comes through, so we've like 13th, probably 70-30 the other way.
Is that right?
And yeah, and this time of year you see it because obviously it goes white because of the seed heads.
And I was out here filming a couple of days ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I think it was. Oh no, 2 days ago. I was filming, doing a club review, and I was just sort of having a putt around as I was playing in. Greens seem quicker from when I was filming the other day to today.
Yeah.
Anything that you've done to be able to, other than iron it and cut it, but
on that day you saw them verticutting, didn't you?
Yeah.
So we went along with the verticuts. That basically, that Poa, it flicks it out, kind of flicks the top surface about an inch, millimetre down.
Yeah.
And it also removes fat, helps remove organic matter.
Okay.
Makes it drainage better.
So what happens is when you cut the greens,
Yeah.
obviously bits of debris drop down onto the surface, and then that decomposes, breaks down, and that's where you start.
Organic matter,
which
and
then
obviously with
creates
the rain and that sits on top, that also goes into the ground, creates organic matter.
So whereas you would cut this way,
yeah,
verticutting is when you've got little blades down this way.
Yeah, it's like a minus scarifying.
Okay.
So it's really small scarifying, but it just lifts the grass up. It makes it stand up, so you cut over it. So like that creep and bent grass grows sideways this time of year.
Right.
So that'll flick that up, and then you go along with the mower behind it and cut it over when it's stood up.
So it kind of de-thickens the grass, should we say?
Yeah.
Like if you're having your hair cut, it would de-thicken your hair, and then that makes it run. Obviously, maintains the true roll.
Smoother,
Smoother, and then quicker.
Quicker, yeah. And we have also dropped the height to 3.5 millimetres.
Yeah.
Because we have been cutting at about 4.5 because there's been no growth. It's been cold.
Yeah.
And just for this tournament, and from now on, if we get a bit more warmer weather, it'd be 3.5. And then in the summer, we cut at 3 mil. Yeah. And we have cut and rolled every day this week, like the gold medal of 36-hole club championships.
The big one.
The big one. We double cut the greens, double roll them. So
yeah. Are you going to win the big one this year?
No.
Come
We're playing
on.
well.
Come
Handicap's
on.
coming down.
Dig deep.
Nah. No chance.
Denison?
Oh, could do the Denison.
Could do the Denison. That's the handicap.
That's the handicap one,
yeah.
I think Cam might win the gross one.
Is he?
Or Jack. You had
Some
Jack
good
on
players.
the channel, aren't you?
Some good players, yeah. Jack.
It's at miles.
Yeah. Fairways then.
Fairways.
Let's go and look at the fairways. Now we're standing here in our woolly hats because it's still a little bit fresh, isn't
Easterly
it?
Wind,
Easterly wind. So you had a bit of growth out here for a period of time, maybe at the beginning of April?
Beginning of April. We've had a lot of rain.
Yeah.
Like the wettest March on record, I think.
Yeah.
And then couple that with 15 degrees, 14 degrees at night.
Yeah.
And we did get a lot of growth last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because of the easterly winds, it's slowed down a bit now. But,
but
no.
Fairways then, how are they faring up?
Really well, yeah.
Are they?
If you look here, we have double cut them twice this week, so they've been cut 4 times this week.
Right, okay.
Because they were growing at the start of the week really well. Over there you see a few daisies.
Yeah.
We will spray for them when it gets a bit warmer.
Okay. Have you struggled with worm casts and stuff like that over time now, or is that are you still holding on for dear life?
We do in the winter, yeah.
You do, yeah.
It's February, March.
And that does affect it coming into the season, doesn't it?
We're very lucky here that it dries up so quickly.
Yeah. Little breeze off the sea and you game on.
And out the end, it's just, you've got probably 3 inches of soil, and then it's just stone. So we are open all winter pretty much.
And how low do you cut these fairways? And I ask that because they look they look full. They look
they're
good.
Cut at 15 millimeters.
Yeah.
Which is quite low.
And is that all year round? As in, like, do you do that in the summer?
All year round,
Yeah, in the summertime, yeah. because you want them as tight as you can.
Tight,
Certainly in the
yeah.
summer, you want to get them as low as you can because the greens here can get really firm.
Yeah.
Again, like I said earlier, the protection of this
Very
golf course
hard to
is
stop.
great. Yeah, really hard to stop. So what you want is a nice tight fairway, so you can get the low strike on the face, which then rises up the face, gets you a bit more spin, and then you can get a bit more control on the shot. So
we do pride ourselves on our fairways. They are probably the best.
You enjoy
around.
doing them, don't
Yeah,
you?
love it. Yeah.
And do
Keeping
you
the line
always
straight.
do you always go with like we've got sort of diagonal cuts here at the moment,
diamonds, yeah.
diamond cuts, and then
So-
you're not somebody who goes with the flow of the old, I call it the open
50-50. Yeah, in the winter we do.
Do you?
Yeah, just because it's less time turning.
Right.
So you're not making a mess.
Churning up as much.
Churning up, yeah. And obviously you're only cutting them once, so they don't look as good. Whereas if you're cutting them twice, the diamond up, they look really nice.
Yeah, it looks stunning, especially from the drone footage that we got
yeah,
as well.
it looks brilliant, yeah.
Absolutely stunning out here. Last thing I want to talk to you about
Yep.
is your little bit of bunker work that you've done. So let's head over to 4,
Yep.
and you can
Show
give me
you,
a bit of insight into that. Okay. Well, when I was just flying the drone around, these bunkers almost gave me the sort of, it felt like I was at Augusta.
Yeah.
It was like a drone footage of Augusta coming over the top of here, looking very different from what we're seeing around the golf course.
Over 14.
Yeah, over 14, which again I've got some drone footage which I'll put over, which you can see from the drone footage that the bunkers have very much changed colour.
Yeah.
So getting very white to brown to then brown bunkers as well.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I don't know if you know this, but they used to get originally the sand down
From Broadsands.
Broadsands Beach. Bring it
So
up.
in the summer when it gets really dry,
Yeah.
on the 10th, you can still see the pebbles from Broadsands.
Oh, can you?
Yeah. From 70 years ago, 80
Yeah,
years ago.
gotta be, yeah.
Just coming through when it gets really dry.
Yeah. So what have you done here? Because obviously these are
Yeah.
very different.
So the problem we have is when it's really wet and really dry, the new sand mixes with mixes
yes,
with the sand
the
that's
soil
underneath, so it
and
just
the-
all washes through.
Yeah.
Like the ones on 14, we probably topped them up 3-4 months ago, and now you can't even tell they've been topped up. They've just gone brown again
Yeah.
because the mud just comes through.
Yeah.
So it's basically an experiment to start off with. We got hold of a few companies, Dura Bunker, Eco Bunker, and they all plotted their plan, and we went with Dura Bunker in the end. And the guy come down and showed us. We had to dig out of the whole bunker
Yeah.
and take the turf off from around the side. You can just see it.
Yeah.
Where it's actually
Where it's been knitted
in really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, it has, yeah.
So we took the turf off, and these 3 already had drains in them, but they were blocked up completely with old sand and big gravel and stuff like that. So we got the drains out, made the drains working again, and then he come with the liner. So it's basically really durable bunker liner, thin.
Yeah.
It's basically like a plastic kind of
Yeah.
material. So we lined them all out, and the liner actually goes.
It's like a pot noodle.
Yeah. So the liner goes all the way up here. So we took the turf off, put the turf back down, and what it does, what they say it does, it's an experiment at the moment, but when it washes down, the sand underneath doesn't come back through. So they should stay that colour forever, really.
Yeah. When I used to be Jake the Rake out here, I think there was about 89 bunkers I counted.
Yeah.
How many is
So
there?
we've got 76 now. I think.
76. So you filled in a few over
Filled in a
time.
few, which-
certainly 16 had that. We filled in the front one there originally.
15,
oh, there was
yeah.
2 there actually. 15's
yeah.
lost a couple on 15.
Lost a couple.
Because it takes a lot of time.
Oh yeah.
A lot of effort, a
Yeah.
lot of man hours to put these bunkers in good position.
So we probably rake them. We rake them every day. We just check them probably 2 days, and then full
Yeah.
rake 3 days: Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday we fully rake them as well.
Yeah, and then if you get a big event like we've got
Yeah.
this Sunday,
Sunday.
it's got to be raked again.
Yeah, they're all raked.
Yeah.
We've got 3 people in, so the apprentice coming in to rake bunkers.
Right, another Jake.
Another Jake.
So this is a 10-year plan?
This is a 10-year plan. So
You want them all looking like this?
yeah. So for the first 6 to 9 months, we're just going to see how it does and see if it works. But last week we had all that rain, and every bunker out on the course had water in, and these didn't. So
Yeah.
that's a good sign at the moment.
Yeah.
But in over 10 years, we're going to try and do all of the bunkers, and we're getting an architect in as well, bunker architect,
Okay.
to go through every single bunker and see
Yeah.
if it's needed anymore, because
Yeah.
there are a lot out there that aren't needed in the modern game.
Yeah. Harry Colt design golf course.
Harry Colt, yeah.
So it's very similar. They're trying to keep them all in keeping with what
Yeah.
his original design was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks good, Dash.
Yeah,
well,
hopefully it'll work.
Thank you very much for your time to come out and see us. It's been absolutely fantastic. I've not had a chance to get out here onto the golf course and film with you guys yet, and maybe we'll do a bit more of this.
Finally plucked up some courage.
I have plucked up courage to come out and see you, yeah. But it looks absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for putting in the effort that you have put in for the tournament. I think it will go, well, I know it will go really, really well.
Good luck to everyone playing as well, yeah.
Absolutely right. Thanks a lot, mate. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little video today of catching up with Ashley out on the golf course and seeing what it takes to put together get a golf course ready to come out of the winter time into the summertime, and obviously get it ready for a big tournament like we've got today at the golf club here. Hope you enjoyed this week on the channel. We were down at Carline Bay, the beautiful clifftop Carline Bay Golf Club down in St Austell, an absolutely stunning location, one of which I've been trying to get down there for, well, some time now. We've been organising trips down there, but just the weather just keeps kicking in, and it just kicks us off the golf course because it gets so wet. But we managed to get it done. Obviously enjoyable to play with Paul and Joe, as always, and I hope you enjoyed that. This week we're heading out to France. Myself, Joe the Pro, Paul, James Ruth, Jordan, who's been away on holiday and he's coming back. Well, he's just got back this weekend. He's coming out with us to do some filming out there. We've got 3 courses to get done. I'd like to hear down in the comments anything that you would like the 4 of us to play when we get out there. We've got 3 beautiful golf courses. La Bretèche, we're going back to, staying there. So next week's Sunday show will probably be my sort of little trip over to France, and I hope you enjoy that. So down in the comments, anything you want to see us play or anything you want to see on the channel, please pop it down there. Obviously a big thank you to Golfing Days for the proud sponsorship of this particular show. And like always, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all again. Well, I'll see you in France next week.